Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kisha. I blog every day at kjaggers.com. That link is below just in case you want to come visit. So I haven't done a food prep video in a while and I have lots of them. I will try to link a few below. But I wanted to talk to you guys today about a few different things. Now, let's first talk about produce. Now, on this kitchen island is probably easily over $100 worth of produce. Many of us buy produce. We toss it in our fridge. Sometimes our family picks through, like the berries and the stuff that we all love the most. And then sometimes some of the other stuff goes to waste. Sometimes you don't get it all ate before it goes to waste. And it can cost us a lot of money. So today I'm going to be sharing some of my classic food tips. I'm going to talk about why we need to clean our fruits and vegetables. I'm going to go over some grocery day tips that I like to use on, the days I bring groceries home, have a lot of produce. I mean, right here, these grapes for this big bag was $10. I do not want that going bad. And there's lots of different ways to preserve produce, but I'm going to share what's worked in our family with you guys. And I thought that this might be handy for some of you guys who are new to my channel and haven't, really seen any of these videos. So, when we think about our produce, we have to think about where it has came from. Now, it has come from the ground, and we don't know the conditions really that it's came from unless we've grown it ourselves. So one of the main reasons I like to wash my produce is because, on farms and even out and about in the, fields, where potatoes are grown and where cucumbers are grown, there are animals, and sometimes that animal feces can go down into the ground. It can actually go and be absorbed into some of your fruits and vegetables. You can look it up. There's even in China for years. I mean, I'm talking about in the in the 30s and in the 40s and the 50s, they actually used waste to, fertilize your food. So, even now, cow manure, they fertilize, a lot of organic food with it. You definitely want to wash it. You want to think also about how many hands has touched these grapes before they have ended up in your bag or your cart at the grocery store, your bag, and your refrigerator at home. You also want to think about, if they are not organic, the pesticides on foods. They have been proven to, cause cancer and give us all kinds of problems. And, they do kill more germs than they harm. But still, at the same time, pesticides are not good for us. I mean, they simply are not. So what I like to use for my fruit cleaning is a item most of us have already in our homes. It's very affordable, and it is, you see it, just good old white distilled vinegar. Now, this is cheaper than a lot of the, store-bought veggie rinses, if you will. Now, for me, I use about 6 parts of water to 1 part vinegar because you really don't want a strong vinegar taste. But this does an excellent job of cleaning produce. So I'm going to show you how I like to clean some of my produce using vinegar today. I'm going to show you some other tips and show you how I dry my produce and all of that. So you guys can maybe save some money by saving your produce, making it last longer, getting it ate up before it goes bad. So many of us, I know, buys produce and it goes bad before we ever get the chance to, finish it. So, I don't like to waste anything in my house. So I'm very picky about this. So let me show you what works for me. Okay, so for grocery day prep, a clean sink is essential, and If you know, make sure your dishes are done before you go grocery shopping, and you make sure your sinks are clean, it's going to make the job so much easier. Now, what I like to start out with is stuff like apples, pears, larger items. So I just fill my sink up about, I don't know, about about to here, about a fourth of its way up. And we're going to put vinegar in here, and we're going to put our apples and our harder types of fruit. So you can see I have my oranges in here, I have my apples, and I have a few lemons. Now, you know, some of these don't come in bags, so definitely remove your stickers like, you know, you would when you wanted to use them. And go ahead, go ahead and let these soak for about 10 to 15 minutes. Now, I have a veggie brush, and I will go around each one of these and clean them. Now, here's another tip, especially if you're buying non-organic lemons or limes, and you're going to use the zest, the same with the oranges. You definitely want to clean them, because if you're going to be using the outside of the fruit, you want that clean. You don't want the pesticides or, you know, dirty hands and God only knows what else that's touched the fruit, you know, before it's got to you or to your kitchen cleaned off. So I just like to leave these in here for about 15 minutes. Now, there's enough room in here. I'm going to go ahead and add the pears too. So like I said, all you have to do is let these soak, and just take your brush over them and get off anything that, you know, looks bad. Get off any of that waxy film that is on some of our vegetables and fruits. Just clean them really well, and it's going to take a couple of minutes. This is something you definitely could have the kids help with, and I like doing it on the side of my garbage disposal, because a lot of times there'll be just little pieces of stem, or, you know, just little pieces of fruit and such that will need to, you know, be taken out of the sink. And being on the garbage disposal side, I can just flush it down. So I'm just going to continue cleaning all of the fruit, and then I'm just going to let it sit here, like I said, for about 15 minutes. Okay, so for my grapes, I have put them in a big bowl, added some water, added some vinegar. Don't get too hung up on the amount of vinegar. You know, I've seen it 10 parts water to 1 part vinegar. I've seen it 6 parts water to 1 part vinegar. You just don't want too heavy of a vinegar scent going on, but you don't have to get too hung up on that. I'm guessing I used about 4 to 4.5, maybe 5 cups of water with about a cup of vinegar. Then over here, while these are still, you know, just kind of hanging out, I have my berries. So I have my blueberries and my strawberries right in here, and we are just letting those soak for a few minutes. And again, about 3 cups of water to about a half a cup of vinegar. Now, this is going to make everything last longer, especially if you buy organics that are not treated to, you know, stay, or not treated to be preserved for, you know, very long. I thought that was a bug, but it's a stem. Will go bad quicker. So, especially if you got organic fruit and vegetables, this is really imperative if you plan on it lasting more than a day or two. So, we're just going to let everything soak, and then we will start, you know, getting it out, getting it on towels to dry. So once they have sat in the vinegar and water and you've washed them and they've been in there for about 15 minutes, I like to remove them just to some cotton towels, but you need to rinse them and then just put them on a towel so they can kind of air dry. Now, I will deal with these in a little while, but these are done, and I will just kind of turn them around a few times just to get off any excess moisture, and I will just let these like air dry for a while I work on everything else. So now moving on from the grapes, and this water is fairly dirty. You know, I mean, I don't want to eat all that. So I just take it in like batches right over to the other side that the apples were in and drain it. Then we will give these a really, really good rinse. And let's check out how many of these that we can save. Some of them are, you know, really good. Some of them are a little mushy. But you always want to pick out like the mushy ones because those will cause bacteria. So you want to rinse them. And you also want to let these dry for a little bit too. So take a look at that dirty water. That's what our grapes came from. So, you know, it really doesn't hurt to clean your vegetables. And fruit, of course. So I have my grapes on a towel, and I'm doing the same thing as I did with the oranges and apples and pears. I'm just letting them kind of air dry here until I get everything else ready. And I will show you how I package all these up. But it's right here in the middle of my stove, and it's completely fine. And there are the other fruits and vegetables. So, you know, wherever you have, just let things air dry for a while. Okay, so I have let my strawberries and my blueberries sit in vinegar and water for a while. I'm going to rinse them really well. Now, this is where I've seen the biggest difference, the biggest money-saving difference with fruits and vegetables is with strawberries and blueberries, because they just tend to go bad, especially if you buy organic. They go bad so fast. So, rinse them and get them on a towel just like we did with the other fruits. So you can see everything's in one layer, and you can kind of roll it around to remove some of that moisture, but again, these are just going to dry for a little while, and then I will store them. So as the strawberries were drying, I just pulled off the green leafy part, hold them out just a little bit, but most of the time I don't cut my strawberries up unless I have a fruit salad they're going in. A lot of times my family just likes picking one up and enjoying it, and I store them in a little bowl with a paper towel underneath, and this has a lid, and it will go straight into our refrigerator, and they are perfectly ready to eat at any point now. Okay, so while we're waiting on the berries and the grapes and the oranges and pears and apples to soak, I thought I would go on to the bananas. Now, our fruit bowl is about as old as our relationship. We've had this basically about as long as we've been together. Now, I have found that, you know, a lot of people probably wouldn't always wipe out their fruit bowl when they bring new fruit home, but I think it's important because sometimes, you know, you can get just a little hint of some fruit in the bottom, and it will like incite the fruit flies all around. So I always like to rinse it out, wipe it down real quick, make sure there's no, you know, really ripe fruit or anything that's decayed. Sometimes an apple will start to go bad, and, you know, that stuff will just bring fruit flies. So I always like to rinse out my fruit bowl. And then for my bananas, I like just to get the stickers off, and I like to tear them apart because they seem to last longer that way. They don't get as ripe as fast. I know a lot of people like really ripe ones, like for smoothies and such, but I have a bunch of those in the freezer already, and you know, most of the time we like our bananas pretty ripe for snacks and such. So I just like to take them, you know, away from each other, pull them apart, make sure the stickers are off, and they go right into the fruit bowl. I don't really worry about cleaning the outside. We are only eating the inside of the banana. Okay, let's talk about carrots for a minute. Now, I bought these organic carrots of many colors from Trader Joe's, kind of like the potato medley that I like to get from Ingles. Now, a lot of people just toss these right in their refrigerator in the bags and never give it a second thought. But if you really want to make your carrots last, you can make them last so much longer. So if you buy them in a bag, you should bring them home, put them out on a paper towel, and allow some of that moisture just to be absorbed right there, see? So just allow some of those. You could use a regular towel too. I'm a fan of paper towels. You can lay them out in the sun even if you wish, but you want to lay them out and allow them to really dry. And then all you want to do is get that off. See, like any type of green foliage or any type of you know, any part of the carrot that will rot quick, and that part will definitely go quicker than the entire carrot. So make sure that you got off any of the you know, the green leafy parts. This one definitely could be trimmed up. Just take it right off the top very gently so you don't really have a big gaping hole at the top of your carrot. So just kind of shave that off and allow your carrots just to dry right on the paper towel for a few minutes. And I also have a Ziploc bag here, and this is for the carrots. I have a paper towel in it, and we're just going to put the carrots down in there when I think they're good and dry, and then put them in the refrigerator. Now, if you don't get light or moisture on these carrots, or your carrots, they can last up to a couple months in the refrigerator. So, you know, moisture is huge with carrots. That's why I recommend sticking a paper towel, a napkin, or a little hand towel right into the bag and then into the bottom of the refrigerator. These will go. Just leave them out and let them, you know, get rid of any moisture because carrots do put off a lot of moisture. And if you happen to notice that the towel in the bag is damp, you'll definitely want to change that out to preserve life. So make sure you check on that often. But I know a lot of people don't really want to go through all of this. But if you want to maximize the money that you save at the grocery store by not having to, you know, rebuy carrots that have went bad, it takes a little time. Grocery days are a big day in my house. I have a lot of prep to do. I have, you know, the shopping and putting away and all that kind of stuff. But prepping your vegetables not only makes them last longer, it saves you money, and it makes it easier throughout the week ahead. Okay, so the carrots were completely dry, and I put them in the baggie. I got out a lot of the air, and we have the paper towel in there to absorb more moisture. The same thing with the onions. Now, you know, I have in cooking school learned that when you put onions in the refrigerator, the gas can turn poisonous, blah, blah, blah. But I have been storing them in the refrigerator for a very long time. I've had no problems. In fact, they last longer. Again, I just use a paper towel. You could use a real towel or a cloth napkin. I just don't like the idea of anything with dye in it. I don't want like something with black dye being next to my onions. I'm always just scared that it's going to bleed off. So I do the same thing. I actually take off a lot of that loose skin, and then I put them in with the paper towel. I get all the air out, and those both will go into the bottom of the crisper drawer in our refrigerator, and they are ready to go. These just have to be peeled a little bit, but they are clean, and they should last for a very long time, as should the onions. So I know a lot of us do not have herb gardens. I'm actually getting ready to start my new herb garden up. But, you know, so many of us buy herbs at the grocery store in these little packets. Now, what I have found in storing these, now thyme is one of my favorite herbs of all times, is I like to take them out, inspect it. If there's any dead leaves or anything that's mushy or turning bad, I like to get that out. A lot of times I clean the herbs and then, you know, let them dry like I've been doing everything else. But these are cleaned. They are organic, and I'm not going to run them under the sink again. But I like to store them on a paper towel. It's a lot of time too. And I just like to roll it up. And that way the moisture will, you know, be picked up by the paper towel. You might have to change it out midweek. And I just put it in another baggie. Okay, so we are repeating the process with the tomatoes and the avocado. You want to get all of the griefy stems off of your fruits and vegetables, you know, while you're in the process of cleaning them. So I'm just going to let these sit for a little bit, and then I'll kind of just gently use my hand, but I'm not going to scrub tomatoes. Over here in this little bowl, I have my peppers and, you know, water and vinegar again, and we're just going to let those soak. Okay, so I rinsed everything off, all the tomatoes and the peppers, just like we did with the other fruits and vegetables, and I'm just, you know, kind of rolling them just for a second to try to get off some of that excess moisture, and I'm just going to let everything just kind of towel dry right here. Okay, so the majority of our grapes is in this Stay Fresh container. This came from the Dollar Tree. So a lot of these products you can get without costing your family a lot of money, but you can be saving them a lot of money with preserving their fruits and vegetables. So I put the majority of the cleaned grapes in here with a couple paper towels to absorb the moisture. But in these little bowls, also from the Dollar Tree, I have like some stuff for now. So we have these grapes, fresh, cleaned, ready to go off of the stems with a paper towel in the bottom. I love that these are clear. Everybody can see through them. I don't label things that much in my family anymore. My kids are older. We know what things are, so I really don't feel the need to label things, especially with see-through stuff. So these are ready to eat. All of these are ready to eat, but these are what we will go for first, and these will go more towards the back of the refrigerator. When this little container starts running low, I'll just replace the paper towel and add some more grapes as needed. The same with the strawberries and blueberries. These are fruits that we're going to eat pretty fast. So I love these little containers. Again, we have the clean, hauled out strawberries. I don't slice them up a lot, with a paper towel in the bottom, and it's clear on top, and they can get to them. Plus, they stack really nice in the refrigerator. So the same with the blueberries. Again, these are fruits and vegetables that are all fruits actually that we're going to be eating first. We use these in our pancakes and in smoothies and in fruit salads. So usually the strawberries and blueberries go really fast in our family, and I have those in here because it's a little bit more than what is left over in the blackberries. Now the blackberries I washed the same way. I put these in a baggie because there wasn't as many with a paper towel. And again, these will be eaten up super fast in our family. So the grapes will take a little bit longer, but we do go through a lot of grapes in our house. I know a lot of people think we have a lot of sweets, which we kind of do, but we also eat really healthy also. I've been trying to eat a lot more fruits and vegetables. I want my family to eat more fruits and vegetables. And with spring and summer here, it's the perfect time to really hone in on your skills of preserving, you know, the food that you're getting from the farmer's market, or what you're growing out in your gardens, or what you're getting from the grocery store, because we're getting so many, you know, different fresh berries and such right now. So that is how I store, you know, the stuff that we're going to eat right away versus the stuff that we have leftovers on, such as those grapes, and we will store these in the back until we need to refill our grape container. Okay, so for us, usually, besides the bananas, I will take half of the fruits that we have out, some of the harder fruits like the apples and the pears, and I put them out in the fruit bowl. Number one, it does encourage, better, healthier choices, and everything is ready, so you can just grab an apple. You don't have to clean it. You can grab a pear. You don't have to clean it. They're going to last longer because of the vinegar and water solution we clean them in. There's not going to be as many fruit flies, and again, these are, healthy choices that everybody can just reach for super fast. The rest of the oranges and apples and lemons, I just put in baggies. Now, I don't usually put paper towels in with these. I just don't find it necessary. If I have a lot of lemons, I do put them in ice cube trays, just squeeze them and put the juice in the ice trays, and that way you can pop them out and put them, in whatever you need. And I have a bunch of those in the freezer already. And these will just go into the bottom of the drawer, and we can just help ourselves. Now, sometimes I put oranges in the bowl, but most of the time my family likes them really, really cold. So I just allow them to stay in the refrigerator most of the time. I don't feel the need to label all the bags. My family can see, everything out. And I'm usually the one who is refilling the fruit bowl with this stuff when need be. So I just don't see the point in writing everything out. But these are ready for my family, and again, healthier choices. Now, with English cucumbers, I don't take them out of the packaging until I'm ready to use it for the first time. They are, just fine packaged like this. It's not going to go bad any sooner. And once I do cut into it, I will add the rest to a Ziploc. So that can just go right on in. And you can see everything stacks up nicely right here in the refrigerator, and everybody can get to it. So I wanted to share with you, this is broccoli from about 2 weeks ago with paper towels, and it has really lasted a long time. You can see that it's, absorbed some of that moisture, and it's helped my broccoli last a long time. So these paper towels in the baggies really do work. As for the cauliflower, I'm not going to do anything with it. I'm going to clean it when I use it, but for me, I find storing it just like this works perfectly fine, and I will definitely use it before it goes bad. Okay, so for my tomatoes, I just store them flat in a Ziploc bag like this. They are completely ready, as are the peppers. And I do want to say a lot of times I reuse the bags, but I did not want to make these with old cloudy bags this video. So I am using new bags, but especially for fruits and vegetables, you can always rinse them out, use them again, get the most for your money out of these. I use the same ones in my freezer a lot of times, and for meats and such, and it really does work fine just to reuse them. But I didn't want to make this video with old bags, so everything's in new bags today. But I just store these flat, same with the peppers, and they will go right on top of the apples and such because they're definitely more delicate. Okay, so I'm just trying to level them out. We'll put the peppers in, and then my thyme can go right on top. And that way, everything will stay fresh and last as long as possible, because we don't want to lose our money in produce that has went bad. Okay, with zucchini, it's really best to wash it right before you use it. And, normally if I buy this loose at the grocery store, I would come home and store it in a Ziploc bag, like I store a lot of the stuff I get. And, being that this one is already sealed up for me, I'm just going to go ahead and put it in the refrigerator like this, which doesn't happen very often. So the avocado is clean, and I'm just going to pop it in the refrigerator, and we can use it when we're ready. We go through a lot of avocados in this house, but sometimes I leave these out on the counter to ripen. But once they are pretty soft, I put them in the refrigerator so they last a little bit longer before I cut into them. Okay, so before I leave on grocery day, I usually always check the potato bins. We are like a meat meat and potato kind of family. So I always check for like potatoes that maybe have started to rot, and if there's any little bugs or rot in the bottom, and if so, I'll clean these out. I keep my sweet potatoes in one. I keep sometimes onion and garlic in one. If I buy a whole bag of onions, they will definitely go in the refrigerator because I don't want them to go bad. But just one or two, I usually just toss in here. And then I have our regular potatoes. So I just always take time before refilling these to make sure that there are not any bad, rotten, nasty potatoes in the bins, because you guys know how it goes. If there's one rotten potato in here, it's going to infect the rest of them. You're going to have, you know, little flies or little maggots. All kinds of things can happen from potato bins. So always check your potato bin, make sure there's no rotten potatoes, and then when I get home from the grocery store, I do not wash my potatoes. If you do, you really need to let them dry out in the sun for a while, but most of the time I get the clean potatoes that are already clean or the organic. But if they're coming straight out of your garden, definitely wash them off, allow them to dry in the sun. You should know that already if you're a gardener. And these store just fine in the bottom of a dry, cool pantry that's dark, and they will last quite a while. So I just refilled these up with some potatoes from Trader Joe's, and I can just grab these as needed, you know, throughout the week. And you can see I just store them on the floor. And they're just right there within sight, so I know, you know, usually how many we have and if I need to buy any. Now, this cantaloupe is going to go into the refrigerator. If I was going to cut it up and everything, I would totally put it in one of those little containers and help ourselves, but I'm going to let this stay in the refrigerator for few days because we have plenty of fruit to get us through for a while, and this will be you know, for, you know, later in the week when we need some more and we've eaten all of our strawberries and all of our blueberries and a lot of our grapes. We will have this to take care of us through the rest of the week. For us, there's just no telling if we're going to eat the way I planned or we're going to eat out or something, and I don't want the meat going bad. So I always put the meat in a baggie, and you can reuse these baggies as much as you'd like, as long as there's no blood and such in them. And then I put it all in the freezer and pull out, you know, the night before or the day of whatever I plan on making. That way we are not letting meat go bad in the refrigerator, and we also really stack up our freezer that way, because sometimes we do eat out, and instead of always rolling over the meal, sometimes I just like almost forget about it, and I kind of build up my freezer that way sometimes. But I always like to store it in a baggie, so no blood or anything will spill out in case it punctures, and it keeps it from getting a freezer burn. I also like to store our tortillas and such in the freezer. That way, if we don't get to them or we only use a few, we have, you know, a package in the freezer, and it keeps them fresh longer. So another one of my grocery day things that I always tend to do is do refills. So I refill some of the cereals that you know, I have a bin actually in my pantry of stuff that has still just a little bit of stuff in it, and on grocery day I go through and see what I need to refill. If I bought spaghetti, it goes into the spaghetti container. I do not like a lot of the big square boxy containers, so these from the Dollar Tree work great. They got them in different sizes. I keep a lot of our cereals in the size, and I love them. So I always do refills. I take things out of packages to save room in the pantry, and like I even refilled these. I just refilled it just a second ago, and this will have to go back into the refill little bin. But just going through, taking stock of what you need to refill and what you need to put back on your grocery list that you're finally out of. Okay, so if I buy whole bean on grocery day, I will take a little time and use my bean grinder and grind up a lot of the beans. So, you know, I don't have to do that every morning, and I'll try to grind about a week's worth of beans. They go in this little cute canister, and we can just help ourselves. So that's what I'm going to get busy doing. Okay, so we have that done, and now this can go over by our coffee, and we can not have to worry about, waking the whole house up, grinding the beans and all that. And we still got fresh coffee. It's in a Ziploc inside here, and this is, like an airproof container. So after I got done with all of the fruits and vegetables, I just went ahead and popped these little Trader Joe mini pie medleys in the oven. They only took a few minutes. They are super cute. I've already had one. And I just wanted to prep something sweet for my family. I haven't been buying a ton of sweet stuff. I've been making a few things, but I'm trying to cut down on the cakes and stuff. And I just thought these little petite little pies would be a perfect sweet treat when, we wanted something sweet, but I didn't want to make a full pie. And this has 3 different flavors. You have strawberry, blueberry, and peach. So something for all of us. So I just kind of got that ready. I'm going to put it in this food prep video, just because, it is kind of prepping for the days ahead, just something to satisfy our sweet tooth. And this isn't food prep, but at the end of grocery day, I always put my bags away. I save a lot of my Trader Joe's bags, and I'll do an updated pantry video sometime soon. But we reuse our bags a lot, so usually on grocery day I'm breaking down the bags and putting them where they need to be. Okay, so I really hope you enjoyed this little food prep video. I wanted to share some of the tips with the vinegar and how I put stuff away for people who are new to my channel. And again, I will link other food prep videos below. Some of them are included in grocery hauls, so I will again link those below. I've got some sweet treats here for my family, and I also got some healthy treats. And hopefully this will help you guys keep your fruit and vegetables, a little bit longer than just a few days, because we spend so much money on produce. Why not make it last, even if it takes a little more time in the kitchen on grocery day? There have been times I've put the groceries up on or the produce up on the counter and waited till the next day. But most of the time I really try hard to get everything washed and put away the same day so we can preserve it. So I'll do some more of these food prep videos where I'm actually prepping food, not just like grocery day prep, and sharing with you how, sometimes I prep meals for the upcoming week, and I will share those with you. Tomorrow we have a What's Cooking video coming up showing you our daily meals, so tune back in for that. I hope you guys are having a beautiful and blessed weekend, and be sure to take care of all your fruits and vegetables so they last you as long as possible. Please give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to get subscribed on Facebook and on Instagram so you don't miss any new videos or pictures or updates, and check out my blog for more pictures and information. Thanks for watching, you guys. Bye-bye.